On this episode of She Built Success, we are talking with Aubrielle of Karma's Creations Artistry, and we are getting into the things that shifted her career and caused her to step up and take charge. Go ahead, push play, and we'll catch you on the inside. Welcome back, Bold Move Besties, to another episode of She Built Success. I am your host, Claudia, and today we are joined with special guest Aubrielle of Karma's Creations Artistry. She is the makeup artist here on the set of She Built Success, and I'm excited, Aubrielle, to actually sit down and have this conversation.
Yes, I'm excited as well.
So let me just give you all a little back. So Aubrielle and I initially met, I think I found you on Thumbtack, maybe?
You did meet me on Thumbtack,
in 2018, so it's been a minute. And she was in the DMV area and then, moved for a little bit. I'm not going to say where, but she moved for a little bit. And then we came back into contact in 24 season. That's when we started the podcast.
2023.
To start 24 season. So, Aubrielle, okay, so we're just going to jump into it because, when we first met, you were I think you were in your last year of college, right?
So 2019 is when I graduated. So about
almost,
my last year.
Almost. And so she was doing my makeup for a photo shoot and did excellent work even then. And it was amazing. And so I was like, okay, let me see if we can find, and we reconnected on IG.
Yes.
And you were like, oh, I'm down here. And I was like, what? And I was like, man, so we're here. She's officially here. So Aubrielle, what was it like for you, first starting out with makeup? And when did you always think makeup was a thing for you, or was it like you kind of stumbled into it? Some people stumble into careers.
Yeah. No, to be honest, I was supposed to get into IT, like computer forensics. I wanted to be like the chick off of Criminal Minds who sits behind a computer. I don't know where that dream came from, but I wanted to be like her, low key, because it was just so cool. And of course, my mom, she's always, been into government, military and stuff like that. So growing up, I really thought okay, if I want a really solid, job and stuff like that, I need to go into working for the government and stuff. However, as I was going through college, and of course my degree was in business administration, I slowly just was going from job to job. And I've had instances where I was either fired for something I didn't do, or I had to quit because management sucked. And then I just kind of had an epiphany while I was in class one day. I was like, why am I working for somebody else when I'm literally in school learning how to run my own business? And so that's when I started it. So around the time, I had also been dabbling in I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a beauty YouTuber. And that didn't, she's like, because as soon as I was about to start, they ended up switching up the rules and the requirements on YouTube. Okay. So before it used to be, you just need 10,000 something, or no, 1,000 watch minutes or something like that, and then 100 subscribers. As soon as I started, all of a sudden they you need 10,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, and I'm just like, okay, that dream is dead. That's a lot. However, I definitely developed a love for it during that time because I've always been into art. So I started off teaching myself how to draw around 2015, 2016-ish. Yeah. And I would literally take commissions. So I was drawing photos. Yeah, on Photoshop. I had a drawing tablet and everything. And that's kind of how I honed in on it. But then I eventually transitioned into the computer being my canvas to my face. And so I don't know, I loved just the transformation process when it came to doing makeup. And then eventually I just kind of transitioned that into doing it on other people. So I invested in master classes because I was not about to be out here having people looking crazy. I made sure that I really delved into that. So I'd say that was pretty much the start of it.
Okay, y'all, she's being modest. So let me just help y'all out just a little bit. So Aubrielle, when we first started, I don't remember all the products, but I do remember NARS was one of them because I was like, oh, I use that too. But then season 2, I believe, she introduced me to a brand I did not know about that is also Black owned, which is Danessa Myricks. Aubrielle has taken the Lightwork 5 and 6 palettes to another level. and she's used them on set for both a little bit of season 2 and then here on season 3. And your work is just really good. I mean, we get compliments every single time. And I think that it's a testament to not only your work ethic, but just how you engage with the various clients or models in certain cases that you work with. So let me ask you this. What has been a difficult experience or learning moment for you as a makeup artist?
Oh, man. I would say definitely understanding the concept that all money isn't good money.
Okay, let's go. What you got?
Let's get into that. Yeah. Starting off, it's very easy for beginner makeup artists to kind of go into it and be like, oh, this is so overwhelming. Like, nobody's going to book me because I don't have the experience and da-da-da-da. It is definitely one of those things that you kind of have to jump into and like just get started. So initially, my first thing was, okay, I just want to focus on diversifying my portfolio. Okay. So that when anybody looks at my work, it's like, oh, I see somebody that looks like me. Oh, she looks like me. Oh, she has the same skin tone as me. So that was my first big thing. Yeah. However, I realized that, of course, when I first started out, I wasn't charging as much. So that definitely brought a certain type of clientele, I would say. Yeah. And so through that, you know, I've had experiences with, of course, you know, people always trying to get a deal and, you know, they want discounts and all these things. Yeah. And so starting off, you know, I just wanted as many clients as possible. So I ended up getting a lot of those people. However, as I started getting better and I started, you know, perfecting my craft, I had to get to a point where I was like, okay, you're not my client.
Yeah, and be more selective.
Exactly. You're not my target audience. Yeah. And it was so hard to do that at first because I was like, I don't want to tell somebody no. Oh, they gonna leave me a 1-star review on Thumbtack. Oh God. And it was like this whole thing that I was just so nervous about with just, you know, doing that. But having this business, it has taught me, once again, all money isn't good money. Yeah. It's okay to tell a customer no, because I'm going to keep it honest with you. The customer is not always right. Okay? The customer is not always right at all. Because the thing about it is that with business, beauty and business and whatnot, it's a transaction. It's a business transaction. Both parties have an equal, you know, stake in this transaction. Nobody has more power over the other. I have the service, you have the funds. They both equal the same in the grand scheme of things. So with that being said, you know, a lot of clients, they kind of come at you and they think, you know, well, you know, my money, this, my, girl, I ain't got to work with you. You ain't my client. How
do you navigate sometimes the pushback or the, I'll say, colorful expressions? And not in a derogatory way, but just, you know, people express themselves different ways. How do you combat that as a makeup artist, but then also knowing that this is your business, this is your profession, and you have the experience that you have?
I would definitely say, I think a big thing that has really helped me with that is making sure that I have a thorough terms of service. So just as a note, my terms of service is probably almost 30 pages, almost 30 pages long. And so I kind of make it a goal of mine to make sure that my clients see a link or access to that terms of service at least 3 to 4 times before you book with me, so that there's no excuse of, oh, I didn't see that, I didn't read it. It's there. And so that kind of helps protect me in a lot of ways from these situations where I do have clients that, you know, kind of push back and they want to like come at me and tell me what my rules are and stuff like that. It's very simple. If you want to work with me, these are the rules, these are the regulations. I even have rules in my terms of service that keeps me accountable as well. Because as a makeup artist, you can't be making up all these rules and stuff like that. And, you know, for the client, and then you don't have anything for yourself. You know, you got to remain accountable. But, you know, when I do have, you know, people that come and, you know, they throw a temper tantrum and whatnot, I still speak to them respectfully. I still, more than anything, throw the facts. Like, here's the receipts. And I make sure I have that, because then there's no back and forth. The proof is right there. And, you know, they still want to, you know,
sometimes,
you know, go on thing. But I mean, that's okay. You know, it comes with the territory. It comes with it when you're in like a customer service based business. But, you know, as long as I share the facts with them and I remain respectful in my response, I always make sure that it's very professional. Due to that, to be honest, I've had customers read like my responses to those customers, and they're like, you know what, I hired you because I saw how you responded to that person, and it was so well thought out. You had your receipts, you had all this, and it was so beautifully just, you know, put together, worded. Yeah. So I mean, we figured it out.
Yeah. What would you say to, whether they're an aspiring makeup artist, a beginner, maybe even an experienced one? What is like words of advice? Or no, let's not even go on the MUA route as a profession. Let's talk about everyday people, because I know you and I talked about offset, and I'm like, yeah, well, when I do my eyeshadow, you know, I go like here, and you're like, but you can go all the way here, and I'm like, I don't know. What would you? That's just me. That's me. That's me. Put me on chopping block. But what would you say for individuals who might be fearful of either trying colors or just getting started? What would that look like as a makeup artist in your experience?
I always tell my clients, like, first and foremost, I have a lot of clients that always tell me, oh, this color doesn't look good on me. I do not believe that whatsoever. There's so many colors, so many shades, so many tints and all these things to these, you know, your regular average rainbow and whatnot that works for you. So I think the biggest thing is just educating yourself on what your particular like undertone is and skin tone and stuff like that. And then while you're at home, just experiment. Like, play in the makeup. It should be a fun experience. It shouldn't be something where you're like, oh, I'm nervous, because makeup is definitely a trial and error type of thing. Yeah. So you have to make sure that in order for you to figure out what works for you, you have to really jump in there and just try it out. And you don't have to wait until you have an event to do it. You sitting at home, you know, like that commercial, you're sitting at home on your couch. You sitting at home and you got, you know, all this makeup that you purchased that's about to expire, because I know y'all be having makeup sitting in your house and you're 12 years old, but you have this makeup sitting there that you bought so long ago and you don't know what to do. Start off with just finding a very simple tutorial. Try your best to just follow it at home. And every chance that you get as an everyday person, just play in it while you're at home. Wear it around the house, feel pretty, take photos. You like, let it be a fun experience.
Do you think that people's reservations, whether they're clients or just, you know, individuals you come across, do you think sometimes the reservation to experiment or try is because a lack of, they feel like I don't have enough tools, or I don't have the right tools, or I don't have the right brand of makeup or whatever? Like, do you find that pushes resistance? Because I know when we're talking offset, or, you know, while we're getting ready, it's a lot of, you know, I'll ask the questions and like, I need to know my undertones proper. And, you know, so like, do you find that there's friction there, or do you think that it's just mind over actually trying, like you said, playing the color?
To be honest, I do think that does play a part, but more than anything, I blame it on social media. Social media has created this idea in people's minds of how makeup should be. As soon as you open up social media and you see a girl who's a makeup influencer, she's slathering on foundation and she's got all this just caking it on. And the unfortunate part about it is that I think that a lot of people are just miseducated. Is it uneducated? I was about to say miseducated. That's a new word. That's a big word.
Lauryn Hill made that one too.
Okay, period. Okay. And she got a Grammy off of that one. Like, let's call it out like it is. Yes. But I do think a lot of people are very uneducated when it comes to the application of makeup. People nowadays don't realize that makeup is formulated now to use a little bit. Little goes a long way, which is why you buy a, you know, foundation bottle. It's like $50. And then next thing you know, you run through it. You don't have to. That foundation bottle could probably last you for the entire time up until it's about to expire. It's shelf life. So when you kind of know how to, you know, apply makeup properly and place it and whatnot, and you're doing it specific to you, then you don't really have to worry too much about feeling overwhelmed or restricted or even having friction on like what it is that you're doing. It's all about educating yourself and experimenting. That's literally all makeup is: education and experimentation.
For sure. What's up, Bold Move besties? Guess what I'm offering? Government contract coaching for small businesses. It is your opportunity to get the real, the relevant, and the way to do government contracting correctly with the federal, local, and state government. Inside, you will get details on how to start in government contracting all the way through winning your first contract, which is, by the way, not guaranteed, but we're trying to get you there. So if you're interested, please sign up in the link below, and I will catch you in the next cohort. Go ahead and apply today. Visit readyswipegov.com to get started. And okay, so we're gonna jump into a little color theory.
Oh,
Now, this is not my area of expertise, clearly, but I don't mind color. What would you say? What would you say about colors, like colors and seasons? Like, does it matter? Does it not matter? You kind of just do what you feel. What's your take on that?
I honestly think that it really comes down to the artist. I do definitely believe that there are certain colors that are a bit more flattering in certain seasons, in certain environments, even with like your outfit and stuff like that. However, like I said, makeup is one of those things where you shouldn't feel so restricted. Yeah. There's definitely a theory to it, but makeup is one of those fun things where you can go all out. You can do whatever you want with it. And that's what I love about it. You don't have to stay in this box that people think like, oh, it's winter. That means that I can't wear reds, oranges, and yellows like that. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. But
you got your permission slip.
Okay. But that's really the thing. So I think if people go into it a little bit more open-minded when it comes to makeup, I think shifting their perspective to that will really help them to, open up and just try something new. And then once you're trying something new, eventually you may end up coming across something you're like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing on me. Yeah. I'm gonna wear this every day. Yeah. Now you've developed a makeup routine, and all it took was you just opening up your mind a bit and just trying something different. Yeah. So don't restrict yourself to seasons and stuff. You can, but you don't have to.
Good advice.
Yes.
So downtime. What do you do when you're not obviously working with clients? What do you do in your downtime?
Oh gosh, this is funny. I love watching streamers and like gamers. Like
streamers is like a YouTuber?
YouTube gamers.
Oh, yeah. YouTube. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's different. Okay, it's different. Like you got content creators, you got streamers, like the ones on like Twitch and stuff like that. Okay. So I'll usually like watch some of their like gameplays and stuff like that. I watch it all the time. I don't even think I watch regular TV at this point. You don't ask me what was on last night. I couldn't tell you. I literally, that's what my computer and my TV is on all the time. So I'm into that. I'm also, I sometimes dabble a little bit into gaming as well. Just a little bit. What? Just a tinge.
What you playing? I play Tetris. I like Tetris and Pac-Man.
No, my mom, she used to tear up the game. What's it called? Cubis?
I don't know, Cubis.
Cubis. You never heard of Cubis? Oh,
wait. Okay, go back to.
Okay.
What do you play?
Yes.
Sometimes.
So gosh, okay. I guess the gaming consoles that I definitely play games like on PC. I do have a PS5. What else do I have? I guess a Wii, Nintendo.
Oh Lord, they don't even make those stuff.
I know they don't make them, but I still love the old games. I will not be ashamed. I don't play it as much, but I have it.
You have it, yeah.
But yeah, mostly right now it's just like PC, PS5. So, gaming with my friends sometimes if I feel like it. Otherwise, I'll be like, nope, I'll just watch you play.
Do you have the official headset?
I do.
I call it the official headset.
They're done with the microphone.
Yeah.
It
sound like Call of Duty whenever I hear the headset.
A little bit. They trifling on that game though. I stay away from it.
No, not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea.
What about? Okay, so you game a little bit. You like watching streamers. I've learned a new word. What about like just like hangout time? Do you like to hang out or not really?
I do like to hang out, but not when it's cold.
Yeah.
Because when it's cold out, I'm such a that's the unfortunate thing. I'm such a homebody. Yeah. I love being at home. I love being in my pajamas and lounging around and stuff like that. I'm a huge homebody. Yeah. But I mean, if I do end up going out places, I do like experimenting and like traveling to like different places, trying new restaurants. I guess I would be considered a bit of a foodie, a little bit. Yeah. A little bit of a foodie. Yeah. But yeah, if I do end up going out, it's definitely to try different places and food spots and stuff like that.
Yeah. What would you say from your experience, both in school and business, makeup artistry, what would you say to someone who has considered going into makeup artistry but is not quite sure they should go all in, just from your background and your experiences?
I would say when it comes to this type of thing, you have to be very committed and passionate about it in order for it to work. It's one of those things where it's a very this job, it's very labor filled. I know there's a better word for it, but it does require a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. It'll definitely take a strain on your body after a while.
You're up for so
You're
long.
walking, you're walking steps, you're lifting heavy stuff all the time. So, making sure that you're fit, like that's a big thing. Yeah. But more than anything, like I said, if it's something that you're passionate about and you really, really love it, then do it. Yeah. If it's something you're iffy on and it's just kind of like, oh, well, I could just do it, whatever, don't do it. Don't do it. Because eventually, once you kind of get to the point where you're at the end of the day, you've done 7 to 10 faces for a wedding, and you're working on like one apple and a bite of like a piece of bread. And sometimes not even that. You just working on 3 sips of water. Okay?
Yeah.
Once you get to that point, you really sit back in your car and you thinking, do I really want to do this? Yeah. Like, do I really like this? Or even just having to get up at like 3 a.m. for a full day of clients. Are you really dedicated to doing that? You have to love it in order to do something like that, because it doesn't matter what I have to do in any aspect of my business. I love it. Yeah. I'll be out, and I don't like getting up. I'm not a morning person whatsoever. I hate getting up. But if it's for a client, if it's for makeup, and I'm just like, this is how I know this is what I love to do, because I don't care.
How has your past jobs or careers, I say jobs because this is your career, but how has your past jobs influenced how you operate, how you run your business?
Oh gosh. Well, like I said, the management part.
Yeah.
Gosh, the managers, they were just horrible. Yeah. I've had a lot of jobs that I've worked at. Some in retail. I've worked in like the food industry. And it was just like, it just always boiled down to management. I was just like, gosh, you guys, y'all, excuse my language, you suck. You're terrible. You don't know how to manage. And I think the first thing that I learned when I did take a management 101 course in college was being a manager does not mean that you're bossing people around.
Right.
It means that you are understanding your team's strengths and weaknesses, and you're utilizing their strengths in order to accomplish a common goal in mind. Yeah. So if you're coming at me and you're, pointing your finger and boss, it's just, it doesn't work for me. Yeah. And me personally, I don't like listening to other people telling me what to do all the time. So, having my own career, being able to make my own decisions and knowing that I can, back up what I do, that feels more comfortable for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what they taught me. I was like, they just taught me I just need to be working for myself.
Working for yourself, but then also how to manage. Do you think that, I actually never asked you, do you think that you would actually have your own team at some point? Would you ever want that or not
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. No, I have written out a business plan I have a business idea. I'm not going to mention what it is. This is something that I would like to do once I've retired and I'm at like global makeup artist status and like I'm very well known. But I wrote it down. I literally can visualize it from top to bottom. I know how I would not only train my employees, but also kind of uplift them and like utilize their, strengths and whatnot. So yeah, absolutely. I think I'd be an amazing boss.
Yeah. Okay. I know, I like that. What about, as far as, we say this with all guests, your definition of success?
Oh man. I would say my definition of success is knowing that you are not only doing something that you're extremely passionate about, but you have quite literally poured everything into it and it makes you feel fulfilled. You feel a sense of accomplishment. You feel a sense of, I did that. Yeah. And it completely takes over your entire being, knowing that you created something, you maintained it, and you accomplished it. Yeah. Absolute top tier definition of success for me.
What about what's next? What's next for you?
Oh boy.
That's a loaded question.
I mean, honestly, as I'm approaching, I feel like most makeup artists, once they hit their 10-year mark, that's when like stuff starts to explode for them, like in a great way. Like you start to skyrocket. So March will be 7 years that I've had my business, and I don't know. I mean, I am kind of working towards the global makeup artist status, like traveling the world and working with like celebrities and stuff like that. Just going all over the place. That is the goal. But I guess on a smaller note, the next thing is finding like a space for Karma's Creations, a studio space.
Yeah.
I have so many clients that are saying, "Can I come travel to you? Can I go to you?" I'm like, "I don't have a space yet. I gotta travel to you."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the next goal, is trying to find a little home for Karma's Creations.
Do you have a favorite type of makeup? Like, for instance, like weddings versus some other special occasion, or things like this on set? Or do you have like a special or a favorite, preferred?
I love the ones where I can just go all in and get creative. Like the ones where I can just completely melt myself into the look and just zone out. And those ones are usually like prom, like the makeups that are like dramatic glam, like the cut creases and the colors and the glitter and just oh my gosh. Like when I do her makeup and it looks good, like I'm yapping about it the whole time. She never hears the end of it. I walk past, I'll be like, "You look so good, girl. You look amazing." I was like, "I did that." Like, oh my gosh. So yeah. Looks like that, and it makes me, knowing that I did it, I'm like, man, I can admire my look, and it's just great. I mean, I'm not gonna sleep on like the natural glams and the soft glams, but I'm gonna keep it real. It's boring. It's boring, y'all. I'll do it, but it's.
You prefer the more?
I prefer the colors. I love the colors and how they just work with each other.
Yeah. What do you think you'll be, or where do you think you'll be? I know you talked about a global stage and work with celebrities and whatnot. Where do you think you'll be in another 10 years? And I'm not normally one. Let me preface it to say I'm not normally one to ask the whole projection thing, because to me it's like, just take it step. But I'm actually curious because you mentioned the whole idea. I'm not asking you to divulge that idea, but just where do you think you'll be in a decade?
I'm big into manifestation, so I'll kind of use this question as like a manifestation situation.
Okay.
In 10 years, I see myself working on the biggest stages, maybe even doing master classes for like large crowds and audiences. At that point, I would be very well known, household name. And I would just be traveling all over the world doing what I love, just makeup, teaching people how to do it, learning my technique and stuff like that, while also kind of building on those business ideas that I mentioned that I wanted to do once I retired.
I like it. All right. Any parting words?
Oh, man. When you go and get a makeup artist, don't be cheap. Don't be cheap. Okay. It's a luxury service. Do not be cheap. We are watching you. Okay. That and this was great.
Yeah, no,
I love this.
I did too.
This is so much fun.
And I really wanted to just actually, I learned some things that I didn't know before. But I really wanted to just showcase the fact that the person in you that is behind the makeup here on She Built Success is more than just a makeup artist. I like to think a friend as well. But no, in all seriousness, I do think that it's important that you, Aubrielle, and my Bold Move besties honor what your passion is, and know that as long as you're pursuing that passion and for the right reasons, you will never have a boring day. You will never have a dull day. You will love what you do. So Bold Move bestie, we always have homework. I want you to take a moment and journal and think about in the next 5 years, and I normally am not a projection. I know I give Aubrielle 10, but in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself? What do you want to happen? Just take a little bit of time. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 15 minutes. And think about that and write it down. Until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. Bye.